guys? I've just bought an M3. Hello everyone and welcome back to another video on the Divine RPM Racing channel. That's right, we are now officially known as Divine RPM Racing. We're upping the ante on all the cars, on all the action. Just give us a few more months and the two race cars will be out on track. But aside from that, welcome back to another video on the channel. Today, probably the worst financial mistake of my life so far. I've bought an M3. I've bought an 2016 LCI M3 F80 Competition. So this is a 2016 BMW M3. It is a competition. It is fully spec'd out. It's the highest spec M3 competition you can get. So it's an LCA, which is all the facelift bits and parts, and the competition package. Just to note, all F80 series BMWs, even F82, which is the M4, there's no competition badge. So these do come in a M3 or M3 or M4 comp, but there is no competition badge. Just so you know. So if you ever see an F80 M3 with a competition badge, it's a fake badge. So I'm not going to put a badge on, but you can see, and you guys know I'm telling you, that it is an M3 competition with all the bits and parts. I am still blown away. I've only had this car for a week now. I've kept it kind of under the wraps and exposed it everywhere, but wow. So, as I've said, it is an M3 competition and it isn't a manual. You might have probably assumed it was a manual from the intro, but I just couldn't hit the marker for the camera, so that's why I had to reverse back. It is a DCT, so it is it's the last M DCT car, I believe, because the G series BMWs, which is the G80s, which is the BMWs that everyone loves, they are no longer DCT. They're actually torque converter. I'm not sure of ZF, but it is torque converter gearboxes, so they've gone back to traditional standard because BMW managed to get the shift speed just as quick as the DCT. So these are actually the last M cars with DCT so far. The DCT is great. I love driving it. It is really customizable in that sense. You can adjust the shift speed and all that, but look, I'll get into that kind of finicky stuff first. Why did I buy this car? I have a daily, which is the Accord. You guys know the Accord. And I have my circuit car, which is the DC5, which is still in the making. We're almost there. Why did I buy this car? So this car came up for sale and it was at a fairly reasonable price. A friend of mine was selling it and I just thought, why not? I thought about it for a month actually. Someone left a deposit, then I gave up, and then the car was up again during my birthday actually. So a week before my birthday, the car came back up for sale. And I said, okay, why not? Let's go and see it. Went and saw it, fell in love, and a few days after, sealed the deal, picked it up a couple of days after, and now it's been a week of ownership, and I'm just super happy to have this car. Again, coming back to why I bought this car, to be honest, just to have something nice. We have the Accord, which is my daily, which is, I won't say where I work. I work around 40 kilometers away from home, so each way it's about 80 kilometers a day. So, and I work 5 days a week, so that's a lot of kilometers in a day. To take something like this there, not really a good thing to do. That's why the Accord is there. It's a very reliable daily, cheap to run. It drives nice, it's modified, it sounds cool. Very cool daily. But then I thought we needed a weekend, and by we I mean me and my family. So me, my brother, and my mom. It's just us three at home. And I felt like we kind of needed something nice. The cars that we have in our family right now is, of course, my DC5, my Accord. My mom has an X-Trail. My brother doesn't have his license yet. And we have now this M3. So now this has become the weekend car. So in a sense, I've hit the monopoly. I've got a daily, I've got a track car, and now I've got a weekender car, which is being shared by me and my mom, and of course when my brother gets his license. He's on his L, so he can drive it right now, but when he gets his PZ, obviously won't be able to. Who knows? But yeah, it'll just get something else, something new, something newer. It is a 2016, so it's not the newest car on the market. It's almost 10 years old, but it is a timeless design. This F80, you can see it's so wide at the back. The interior is amazing. The car is just... Now, without me getting too excited about the car and the whole thing and how much power it has and everything, let's get into the finer details that I know so far. In my opinion, I've only had the car for about a week, and I do believe that there's more things that I'll find out about the car as we go on. Features and specifications that I wouldn't know at this point in time. So if you guys know anything about this car that I don't mention, please leave it in the comments below and let me know what you guys think. But let's start with, of course, the motor. Now, I'll pop the bonnet in a second. So this M3 is powered by an S55 B30, which is a 3-litre inline-6 twin-turbo engine. I also didn't realize it was twin-turbo. I thought it was just a twin-scroll turbo, but it's actually 2 turbos. So that's why the car is super efficient in delivering the power. It's super smooth. Let's pop the bonnet. Gas struts. Now what you're seeing here is the M3 engine, which is the S55 B30 twin-turbo inline-6. Now, the engine in this car is, of course, competition. So it is the same engine in the other M3s, the non-competition packages cars. But what's going on is that this car is tuned up by BMW's M division. Now, what this car is about is performance. So you can even see here this, which is a strut bar. Usually this conventional strut bar will go across this way, but the design has been like this, and this is actually carbon fiber. So this is carbon fiber parts in this M3. So back to the engine. Now, I don't know the specifications of the turbo, the size and all that, but all I know is that this thing is stupid quick. The car is so quick that it's almost too quick for the road. It's too quick for Sydney, I'll give you that. There's no place in Sydney where you're gonna use this amount of power. It's just impossible. In a car like the Accord, you're pushing that thing, you're pushing that car, but in this case, this car is pushing you, and it keeps pushing and pushing and pushing. It just wants to keep going. I love this thing. It's an M3 inline-6 twin turbo. It makes 450 horsepower. This car is making 450 horsepower. This engine right here, 450 horsepower and 550 Newton meters of torque. It's insane. I'll let you listen to it from the bay. So it's a pretty standard sounding motor, BMW, Vanos, direct injection, so the injectors are a bit loud. It's normal. I watch a lot of videos, my first concern was this noise, but it is normal, that's how it sounds. I'm screaming, not because it's loud, but so you guys can hear me. Now, looking at the interior of the car, it is a timeless design, but it's not an infinite design in a sense where it is a 2016, it's been almost 10 years, there is no more wear and tear. So let's go hands-free. I mean, not hands-free, let's go whatever the opposite of hands-free is, and just take a look inside. So let's jump in. Now, during the nighttime, interior is immaculate. There's a little ambient lighting, it's all lit up. There's classic orange lighting and newer LED white lighting, but yeah, this is the interior. We start like this. We've got our paddles. As you can kind of see, there is some wear, like a little wear. I'll close the door so I don't get the glare. Little bits and pieces, right, which can be revived. So it's not a project car, but you know, in the long run, I will be getting these things fixed because the car will be mostly parked for its life. It'll only be driven on the weekends, and maybe a weekday here and there. No long drives and all that. So it is a weekender, so it will have time to be sent off to get work done and all that. Carbon fiber here, DCT, like I was saying. All M seats, so this is the competition package, so it's really cool. These seats have these massage things, even I have it as well, so my passengers at the back can, yeah. Other than that, the interior is pretty simple. No Apple CarPlay. I mean, there's Apple CarPlay apparently, just with iPhone, but no Android Auto. You've got an aux there, USB there, you can plug in your device there, play music from that device, or try and update your head unit. I tried to do it, I couldn't do it. Other than that, it's pretty simple. Aircon, all this works. I'll turn the car on again. That's ignition, turn the car on again. Keys are in my pocket. So that's a start up there. Let's go through a bit of a walkthrough of the car now. Now I've set everything up already for in this car, the way I need to drive, the way I want to drive, the feel and everything of it. So these two buttons, I used to think these were preset. This is like an M1, which is like your BMW M mode and your BMW M2 mode. Like, no, these are all preset buttons. So I've mapped M1 to full efficiency and full comfort. You can see there the acceleration, the suspension, and the steering has been on comfort / efficient. Now, the efficient button, I mean the acceleration there, which is the tacho there, that's also opens and closes your exhaust valve. So on efficient, the exhaust valve is closed. So I'll just give you a demonstration. That's closed. Now, if I go here, this is where the buttons are controlled. So as you can see on the screen there, efficient, comfort, and comfort. These three things are there: the acceleration, the suspension, and the steering. Now, if I go and tap this, you can see the menu comes up on the bottom there. It's now in sport. I tap it again, it's now in sports plus. So now the exhaust valve actually opens up and it will do some little burbles and pops. So yeah, and then again, one button press again, and everything's back in efficient mode. That's my favorite thing. So right now I've mapped M1 for full efficiency, and M2 is full send mode. So when I press M2, everything goes in its highest setting with traction still on. I need traction on, and a little heads-up display there, which is like a little M display, which shows the revs and all that, and the speed. Now, I've also set M2 to manual mode, so as soon as I go and drive, it's all in manual, and the DCT will shift in its highest speed. So what I'll do is I'll keep the brake on, go in drive, and you can see it's gone straight to manual, and this shift speed is on the max. So I'll press this button here, and that will adjust the shift speed. So yeah, now it's at its lowest setting. It'll be, then now none of this is like sluggish and all that. This will just be really comfortable. There won't be any jerkiness. It will shift early, it will shift slow. Sport, again, number 2, it will be a bit faster, and 3 is just like shebang, like it will like throw you back in your seat kind of thing. So I'm just gonna head it back into neutral and then back in M1 mode. Now the car's in efficiency mode. Now you can see that it says neutral. It said park before, but it's in neutral because I'm operating the car. There is no there is no park gear. So because this is a semi-automatic DCT, it's actually listed as a semi-automatic. Things to note about that: there's no park. We have a normal handbrake, and the brake pedal is actually like a manual brake pedal where it's smaller. It's not a massive fat brake pedal, which is pretty cool, sports car. So yeah, there's no park, as you can see here, and it's very traditional yet automatic manual kind of thing. So reverse is actually up here. That's how you get into reverse. Reverse is on. Neutral is just in the center, and to go into drive, you just flick it to the right, and the car is now in drive mode. Flick it again to go into manual, to switch between manual and automatic. You can use the paddles, and you can also use up and down here. So it's like a standard sequential gearbox where it's actually down is up, so but we have the paddles anyway, which is very fun, very responsive. Back in neutral. So yeah, there's no park, so when you want to put the car in park, you simply hit the car off. Now if you start leaving, the car will warn you again, yeah, that it's in neutral. Before you leave, get out of the car, press it once again, goes into park, everything's off. So pretty cool, pretty fancy. Turn it back on. Battery's probably hating me. The head unit, very simple. The screen is a bit small. There's a lot of big bezels here, or what do you expect from 2016? There's a lot of upgrades for head units you can do. It's something I'm going to look at in the future, not really close by, because it is pretty simple. It has all the BMW features, all the service history is on here, so I don't really want to mess. I don't really want to mess with this car, if that makes sense. But I have mapped these, which are little touch buttons you can map. So first thing I did in this car in terms of this system is the equalizer. So whenever I want to change the equalizer, hit number 8, goes into my equalizer. I can adjust all the sound. And I've mapped number 2, which is the radio, which is music. Connects to my phone. It will go back to the media screen, which shows the music and the next previous track song and the controls with this. It's not touchscreen, unfortunately. Can't do any touch features here. My favorite is what I've mapped to number 1, the sports displays, which shows the kilowatt and the power, the torque, which is honestly amazing. Even in efficiency mode, it shows you, and it shows you the peak which you reached from the last time you let off on the accelerator. So very, very cool. I love this. Whenever I'm driving, like spirited driving, I love to have this feature on. The boys in the back can see as well. It's a really nice feature. So that's pretty much the interior of the car and the little specs. It feels good. It feels good to have a car like this, and you know what? I'm gonna say it. It feels good to be back in a BMW, to have a BMW again. It feels awesome. If you guys would remember, this is the exact same location as where I shot the E46 touring video. When I first bought the car, I did the video here, exact same spot, and I was sitting like this in the boot as well. So it does feel really nice to have a BMW again. I wanted to talk about a bit more features of this car. I'm just gonna sit here and talk, and then I'll show you around as the video will go by. So from start to end, again, M3 Competition, fully spec'd out, all the competition parts. So starting from the front of the car, the engine. The engine is tuned. It is a twin-turbo S55 B30, making 450 horsepower, 550 Nm of torque. Now let's come down back to the interior. Interior pieces, there's carbon. The engine strap bar has carbon fiber. The roof, the whole roof is actually carbon fiber. It is clear coat peeling, but actually the whole roof, not just the liner, the actual roof is full carbon fiber, so lightweight. I believe the boot lid inside as well is carbon fiber as well. The interior wise, nothing that different, just cosmetics with some carbon fiber bits here and there. The suspension has been tuned, so the suspension is a bit different to the normal M3. It is the M3 comp has some tuned suspension. I think it's a bit lower, this, that, and you can control it as well in the comfort settings where it becomes a lot stiffer, very soft, very planted. And the steering as well. The steering, I don't think it will differ from the M3 to the M3 comp, but also adjustable with the features where it becomes looser, tighter. So I think a lot of people would agree. Having driven the G80 M3 as well and other BMWs, in the for the steering, in the highest rating, which is I think Sport Plus, steering is really hard. Now it does make sense to me in terms of like when you're racing or tracking, you want minimal input, right? You don't want to go like this or be turning like this. You want minimal input, which is why I believe it's very tight. It's tight, but your movement, it gives you a lot, which is like a race car kind of sense, where the GT race cars where they don't need to turn any more than that, which is why I believe it's that. But on the street, I believe it's too hard. I find that sport or comfort is much easier because the steering is smoother, and in the street you need to do wide turns. Track, you don't really have these kind of roundabouts or cul-de-sacs like we're in. Some tracks might, but yeah, that's just something. Maybe some people would agree, some people don't, but that's just how it is. Other features of the car coming down after suspension, of course, the brakes. The brakes are upgraded brakes, I believe so. I've seen other M3 comps, M3s and M4s, the brakes are smaller. So they have smaller brakes, smaller discs. Not carbon fiber brakes. I made sure it wasn't carbon fiber because on this car, carbon fiber brakes cost $15,000 to replace, and that is 5, 10, 15, that is around 3 Honda Accords. Spending 3 Honda Accords on brakes that will go pretty quickly because it's carbon fiber, not worth it. So I made sure it's not carbon fiber, but it is not slotted brakes, they're drilled brakes. The brakes are awesome. They stop on the dot. You press your foot down, it will stop. I haven't even used the brakes properly, if that makes sense. I haven't put my foot all the way down yet because I haven't had to. But when I need to stop quickly, car stops. The wheels as well. The wheels are 20-inch classic wheels. I had these wheels on the wagon as well. I put those wheels on the wagon. They were Repsol, but these are real, of course. They are 20, so they're pretty massive. Tires are pretty standard, not that great. The rear tires are Linglongs, some L something tire. They're great. They put the power down in the dry, in the wet they're pretty bad. But of course, this thing is rear-wheel drive only, loses traction like nothing. But traction control really saves your life in this car. If I'm on a straight line and I want to put the power down, it will manage the power, it will manage the torque, it will manage the tires and the traction so perfectly that the car will not kick out, spin out. You'll go straight and you'll be flying. So traction control, BMW, well done. All in the tuning. Coming back to the brakes, yeah, brakes are obviously massive brakes, they're awesome. And the exhaust, I believe the exhaust is different for the M3 Competition, which is why you would have seen that it's so much louder with the valve open. One thing I probably didn't mention, this car is a bit high Ks, which is why I got it for a really good price. There is a few dings and dongs, not really dings or dongs, but just little minor scratches, wear and tear. What do you expect from a car that is about 10 years old and a bit higher Ks? Nothing too extreme, but service history, complete service history with BMW. The car has been maintained. You can't bullshit it because it's all recorded in the BMW Infotainment System. All the service history is there. So the car has been maintained pretty well, and my favorite part, the car's stock. So from 2016, this car has been stock its entire life. So everything that I've shown you so far, the engine, the sound, the exhaust, the pops and burbles, this is stock. And that just made me even more happier that no one has molested this car, no one has touched this car. Yeah, maybe someone's given it a hit like the way I've been giving it a hit. But yeah, the car's stock, which I'm pretty happy with. I don't think it needs anything. I don't think any performance mods it needs. It's already so quick. I have not even been able to use that full power yet because of conditions, the tires. Once I slap new tires on, that is probably the next thing I do in terms of modifications. But that's a quality of life thing, that's a maintenance thing. The front tires are some Pilot Super Sports, which are good, but I want really hectic tires in this car. I'm a track person. This is a rear-wheel drive car. It is fun in its current state, but I want grip. I love grip, and I want to corner this car. I want to see what this car can do in the corners. I can't see right now without probably dying or spinning out and hitting a tree and totaling this car that I just bought. So I'm going to keep away from corners, high-speed corners for now. Other than that, to be honest, I don't know what else to say. It's an M3. There will probably be some cool other videos on this car. Don't expect a lot, maybe a drive video or something like that, but that is my M3. Boot space is massive. Boot space is massive, I'll just say that. Also first aid kit, which is pretty cool. That's for the DC5, not for this car. It's just parts. More proof that I'm actually working on the DC5. That's the M3. So guys, if you really enjoyed this video, please let me know by liking, by subscribing, by sharing, by letting me know in the comments. Buying an M3 is a pretty crazy thing. Now, I don't want to brag. I don't like being someone that brags about things. But look, I love cars. Since I turned 17 when I got my piece, I had an Integra, and I always wanted to do stuff on cars. My whole life, since I was a kid. But when I got into cars, it just got even worse. In the sense that I needed to modify this, buy this car, buy that car, drive this car, drive that car. So now I feel proud that I have an M3. And I don't just have an M3, I have an M3, I have my daily Accord, and I have a circuit car, which is the DC5. So at this point of my life, I feel pretty happy. And that's something that we don't really talk about that often. The happiness factor from these cars and what it brings to us. And I just want to really highlight that this car has brought me a lot of happiness since having it. But the other two, I still love those things, and having those three together makes me even happier. So again, thank you guys for watching this video. I hope you really enjoyed it. It's getting pretty windy, so I'm probably going to head out. It looks like it's going to rain. The rain has been pretty bad in Sydney. But this is my M3. I hope you enjoyed this video. Stay tuned for more. Of course, we've got tons of videos coming as always. Love you guys.